sabotage that we very likely will be witnessing in this game. Okay, make sure you guys join me live for the game. I will be live 30 minutes before the game, and I will be live streaming throughout the entirety of the game. So make sure you pull up and enjoy the party, because we have a good old time. We have a blast live streaming these games together. Make sure you guys join for that. Now, Stephanie White is set to do the unthinkable. Stephanie White.
Stubborn. That's the word Stephanie White used to describe herself. And right now, that stubbornness might be costing the Indiana Fever wins they desperately need. Because we're 8 games into the season, and the head coach is still pulling Caitlin Clark out of games at the 3.5-minute mark like clockwork. Doesn't matter if they're up 11-0, doesn't matter if it's tied. The substitution pattern is so predictable, you could set your watch to it. Here's what makes this fascinating. The Fever's front office is clearly paying attention to fan criticism. They're online, they're blocking people. Amber Cox is responding to fans, they hear everything. But White? She's doubling down, and tonight against the Atlanta Dream, we're about to see whether that stubbornness is confidence or something else entirely.
And damn it, you better believe it will more than likely continue today. Stephanie White might not even play Caitlin Clark more than 28 minutes in this game. Caitlin Clark might play 23, 24 minutes in this damn game. She will likely to be getting subbed out every 3.5 minutes, 4 at best. You best believe at the 6:30 to 6-minute mark, Caitlin Clark is going to get subbed out no matter how the game is going.
Let's talk about what this substitution pattern actually does to a player's rhythm. Caitlin Clark gets subbed out right when she's getting warm. Not because of foul trouble, not because she's gassed, because the rotation says it's time. And in professional basketball, rhythm is everything. Think about this. Every opponent the Fever face treats games against Caitlin Clark like their personal Super Bowl. Ryan Howard shows up differently when she's facing Clark. Teams game plan specifically for these matchups. And Stephanie White's response is to limit her best player to potentially 23, 24 minutes in crucial games. The math doesn't add up.
Versus the Atlanta Dream. We're talking about a team that just had a team meeting, all types of stuff. It sounded like Sophie Cunningham leaked the damn team meeting. She running her mouth too much. She can't. Kelsey Mitchell and them all surprised. Like, what meeting y'all talking? Wait, how y'all know? It sounded like Sophie wasn't even supposed to say that. She's so worried about building her own brand and all. Look, man, everybody has come over here and got what they wanted out of Caitlin Clark. Popularity, deals, money, all types of stuff. This is crazy.
Now here's where the Atlanta Dream matchup gets really interesting. This is a team that just had a full team meeting. Sophie Cunningham apparently couldn't keep quiet about it, running her mouth to media. Kelsey Mitchell and others acting surprised about how the press knew details. The Dream's locker room dynamics are messy right now. But they've got something the Fever don't. Size rotation. Alicia Gray is going to get her 20 points. Angel Reese is relentless on the glass, hunting that double-double every single night. Their bigs rotate constantly, staying fresh. Meanwhile, the Fever are switching 1 through 5 on defense like they're still in training camp figuring things out.
To beat this Atlanta Dream team, Caitlin Clark needs to play big, heavy minutes and not be subbed out as soon as she's getting warm and being taken out of rhythm. She don't even get taken out of rhythm by the opponents. She's getting taken out of rhythm by her own coach. It's nasty. That's the first thing for the Indiana Fever if they want to defeat the Atlanta Dream. The second thing is going to be Caitlin Clark has to get it going. She got to start knocking down shots. We need a Clark show, baby. We need a Clark show.
8 games into the season, full training camp completed, entire preseason in the books, and the only defensive scheme Stephanie White has installed is switching 1 through 5. That's not a rotation issue anymore. That's a coaching preparation issue. Compare that to how other teams have adapted their schemes. Teams are running specific actions against the Fever because they know exactly what's coming. There's no variety, no adjustments. Just switch everything and hope your personnel can handle the mismatches. Spoiler alert, they can't. Not consistently. Not against teams with the Dream's versatility.
And we stop this stupid 1 through 5 switching. Can we stop just switching 1 through 5? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You had a full training camp. You had all preseason, and we are 8 games into the season, and the only defense you have is switching 1 through 5. That is embarrassing. That is a fireable offense. It is ridiculous. Stop switching 1 through 5, Stephanie White. It is stupid. You look stupid when you do it. Stop doing that. The number 4 thing is,
let's address the elephant in the room, defense. Everyone wants to talk about Caitlin Clark's defensive limitations. Fair enough. But Kelsey Mitchell's defense has been just as problematic. Sophie Cunningham's defense has been just as bad. The difference is nobody's micro-analyzing their every possession. Mitchell's got another issue too. Ball movement. When she gets the rock, possessions tend to die. The Fever used to thrive in transition, pushing pace, creating easy buckets off turnovers. That identity has vanished. They're playing slow, methodical half-court basketball. And guess what? That's not their strength. That's not why fans showed up in record numbers last season.
Ass off. Aaliyah Boston, you need to be dominant down low, especially when it comes to rebounding. They got a lot of size. They rotate their size. Their bigs are relentless on the glass. And you know Angel Reese is going to be looking for her double McDouble cheese, okay? You got to get a body on Angel Reese. You have got to box out, and the Indiana Fever have to rebound. The fifth thing is we got to get in transition. This team does not play fast anymore. This team is not getting up and down. We're not getting fast break points. We have got to get out in transition.
Here's the reality check heading into tonight's game. The Atlanta Dream are going to win, and when they do, the noise around this Fever team is going to reach a fever pitch, pun intended, because losing at home to Angel Reese and a Dream team dealing with their own internal drama, that's the kind of loss that creates real pressure. The Fever have been sending out promotional giveaways, free tickets paired with candy from local sponsors. They literally mailed treats to content creators trying to drum up attendance. Think about that. A team with Caitlin Clark, who drove historic viewership numbers, is now bribing fans with gummy bears to fill seats.
Surrounding this team, as there already is, it's already a lot going on. If they lose to Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream at home, all hell may break loose. Get into the
So here's what needs to happen if the Fever want any chance tonight. First, Stephanie White has to let Caitlin Clark play 35 minutes, not 28, not with artificial restrictions that make zero competitive sense. Let your best player play. Second, Caitlin needs to get it going early. We need the Clark show, because when Alicia Gray is dropping 20 and Ryan Howard is treating this like her championship game, somebody on the Fever has to match that energy. And that somebody isn't going to be a role player off the bench. Third, figure out the rebounding. Aaliyah Boston needs to dominate the glass. Angel Reese is going to hunt her double-double relentlessly. She's a menace on the boards even if her offensive game needs work. The Dream rotate their bigs specifically to stay fresh for rebounding battles. Boston can't do this alone, but she's got to set the tone. Fourth, scrap the 1 through 5 switching. Please, it's not working. It's never worked. Teams are hunting those switches and exploiting them possession after possession. Install something, anything. Show some defensive variety that forces opponents to think instead of just running the same action over and over. Fifth, get out in transition. The Fever used to be dangerous in the open court. That was their identity. Fast breaks, quick decisions, Caitlin pushing the pace and finding shooters. That team was exciting. That team won games. This slow, grinding half-court team, that's not who they are. Get back to pushing tempo. And here's the thing about tonight specifically. If the Fever lose this game at home, all hell breaks loose. The criticism that's been simmering online, the frustration from fans who watched this team's potential last season, the questions about whether Stephanie White is the right coach for this roster, all of that explodes into the mainstream conversation. Because this isn't just about one loss. It's about a pattern. It's about a coach who admits she's stubborn but won't adjust obvious problems. It's about a front office that's clearly listening to criticism but can't seem to translate that awareness into on-court changes. It's about a team that has Caitlin Clark and somehow still needs to give away free candy to fill arena seats. The Atlanta Dream are beatable. They've got their own issues, but they've also got hungry players who know this is a statement game. They've got size and rebounding. They've got veterans who understand how to exploit the exact defensive weaknesses the Fever keep showing. Stephanie White walked into this job with massive expectations. She inherited a team with a generational talent and a fan base ready to support them. 8 games in, the results aren't matching the roster's potential. And tonight's game is going to tell us a lot about whether she's willing to adapt or whether that stubbornness she talked about is going to define her tenure in Indiana. Watch the substitution patterns tonight. Watch whether Clark plays 30+ minutes or gets yanked at the first TV timeout like always. Watch whether the defense shows any variety or just switches everything again. Watch whether this team looks like they've installed an identity or whether they're still figuring out basic rotations in January. Because if it's more of the same, if we see the same predictable patterns and the same frustrating limitations, then the conversation shifts from give them time to gel to is this coaching staff capable of maximizing this roster? And that's not a conversation any team wants to have 8 games into a season with playoff aspirations. The pieces are there, the talent is there, the fan interest is there, even if they're bribing people with candy to show up. What's missing is the coaching execution that turns potential into wins. Tonight against the Dream, we find out whether Stephanie White is ready to make those adjustments or whether her stubbornness is going to cost this team another winnable game.